Hello there and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling and Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy and today we're doing a what's in the box kit review on my Revell level 4 1/83rd scale Mayflower 400th anniversary set 1620 to 2020, which is a kit that comes with 369 parts, 36.7 centimeters long and 29.8 centimeters high, and is recommended for ages 12 plus. So hopefully I might just be able to do this one. I actually picked this up recently from Lidl, as they're having a bit of a model bargain thing on at the moment, so kind of advise you to pop down there or check out the video I did on all the kits that I managed to pick up. And I paid £19.99 for it, which, I mean, if you go online, they tend to go for sort of £20 to £30, so it's kind of a fair price. I wouldn't exactly say it's a massive bargain. As far as the history of this particular kit is concerned, after consulting scalemates, we find it is based on a tool originally produced in 1966. So that makes this a whopping sort of 58 years old as far as the tooling is concerned. This particular kit box with all the accessories and paints and what have you was originally released in 2020. So as per my normal what's in the boxes, we're going to read out the blurb on the front. We're going to have a quick flick through the instructions, and then we'll have a look at the parts, and I might round it off with some random waffling. So they came across the Atlantic, 102 men, women and children, as well as 30 sailors in search of the longed-for land of freedom. A typical merchant vessel of the 17th century, the Mayflower left the English coast behind on 6th of September 1620. On board the little vessel, the Pilgrim Fathers and their families were at the mercy of the swirling sea, exposed to terrible storms, fever, disease and constant uncertainty. After 67 days and a distance of 3,500 miles, land was sighted at last. Still on board, the 41 Pilgrim Fathers signed America's first charter proclaiming majority rule, the basis of American democracy. Their first settlement later became the city of Plymouth, and they landed on roughly November the 21st, but apparently in old school dating that was November the 11th. Not quite sure why that's all changed. So I'm going to quick flick through the instructions. I'm only going to pick out some of the more interesting parts for this because it's very window heavy and it's basically giving us sort of one part per window. So we're going to be looking at some small parts here to go on the decking and the deck house at the rear. Then we've got some ladders to go on in section 9. This is going to be the forecastle at the front. It seems to have two actual decks. We're going to then attach some parts to one section of the hull and similar parts to the other section, in window 15. Then we're going to put our two decks and our hull together in number 16. 17, we're going to put the rear of the ship on. 18 and 19 focuses on the rudder. 20 and 21 is the rudder again. 22 and 23 is assembling the stand, which we can put it on then, which is going to give us a sort of stable building platform. Here we have, I think this is the front deck with the deck house at the front and the masthead. We've got more parts of the masthead going on here. We've got one of these ship's boats being assembled in 30 to 33. 34 and 35 tell us how to mount the ship's boat on the deck. 38 to 30 to 43, we're going to be putting these sections of ropes on. Don't know what they're called. And again, similar in 44 to 49. So it's very, very easy to follow. Sort of 50 to 53, we're going to start looking at anchors and a few bits of rope. 56 to 63, we're going to be looking at one of the masts with a crow's nest. We've got some rigging to go on. 64 to 78, again we're looking at masts, crow's nests and more parts of the rigging. Seems really easy to follow. I mean, I kind of like this. We've got more mast 79 to 83 with more rigging going on the front of the ship. more rigging 84 to 87, and finally we end up with something that looks a little bit like that. Hopefully. I'm sure I can manage to get something like that. Then we've got more bits to go in 88 to 91. This is focusing on rigging again. We've got a load of rope to put on it. 92, we're going to be cutting our vacuform sails out and attaching them as so. And then we've got more ropes and stuff to put on in 93 to 100. This all looks very, very complicated. So obviously you've got to get the fit quite right on this. More ropes. I mean, I'm guessing the ropes are quite difficult to do. So it's good that we've got lots of instructions on how to tie them off properly, which kind of was missing from the Victory ship that we've also What's in the Box reviewed recently. Very, 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 very thorough set of instructions. 127 steps for 369 parts. I think that's pretty good. Okay, there's our instructions out the way. This is the hull, roughly the size of a hand, or one of my hands. Obviously this is, like I said, a 1966 tooling, so you can't really expect it to be amazing, but there's a lot of grain detail on the wood that you can see in the picture here, and that's quite impressive. It's pretty good. Doesn't seem to be any flash on the hull, which is nice. There seems to be some sort of variation between the boards. There's our other piece. Obviously it's pretty similar. What should we look at next? Let's look at the rigging. So there's the rigging, so as you can see here. A couple of little bits of flash in here. Nothing too terrible. Oh dear, we've got a whole load of these pulleys. Oh my god, this is like 1/3 of our 369 part count by the look of it. And a whole load of these little bits, whatever these are for. Oh geez. This is what's going to make it difficult. I'm not too sure whether a 12-year-old would be too bothered about putting all these on. I'm not too sure whether a 48-year-old or however old I am would be too bothered either. But we've got it, so we need to build it. We've got some flash problems on some of these parts. They're going to be the entrances into into the cabins. Got a stand here, Mayflower. Various other parts here going on. Lots of flash, lots and lots of flash there. Quality control's gone out the window with this one by the look of it. Yeah, there's loads of flash, but you know, what can you do? Pick it off. We've got some masts here. The masts are two-piece, so you have to stick them together. We've got a whole other load more little bits of rigging. This kind of makes it look really complex now. More flash to deal with. Very flash heavy. A lot of these small parts, look at them, they're really bunged up. Not good. Do you know a 12-year-old that would actually deal with this flash? I don't think so. If he did, he'll be a genius when he gets older. Lots more flash, so that's all going to have to come off. Just the prep on this is going to take a couple of hours, I would have thought. Now we're moving on to the actual decks, which is flash free, thank God. Actually got a couple of figures here as well. Well, they're pretty cool, aren't they? Look at them. There you go. Kind of looks almost 1/72 scale, isn't it? So there's our main deck. Got the ship's boat. I'm not too sure if it went down that you'd fit 100 odd people in that. We've got some anchors. That's going to be the rear deck. Flash has reappeared. Forward deck. Crow's nest. And there's the bit that sticks out at the front. Then we have one, I forgot what it's called now. One sheet of blown plastic, which represents our sails. They're quite nicely detailed, the sails. Got a lot of sort of texture to them. There we go. We also get a poster. I forgot to show you on the Trafalgar one. So we get a poster which is just basically a redrawing of the actual cover art. There's one thing I will say about this. I mean, I'm sure it's not supposed to be deceptive, but seriously, do we really need a box this big to put this in? You know, I mean, you probably could have got away with a box half the size, but that's a minor niggle compared to all the flash we've got to deal with. You also get some twine for all these bits of rope that we've got to do, which there are a lot. You can see all these little pulley type things on here. This is going to be, you know, it's going to end up like a right tangle probably with me getting my hands on this. We get a packet of paints with some small Revell contactor glue and a Revell number 2 brush, which seems to be kind of big. And we get 6 paints. Obviously this is all painted in fancy colours, blues, reds, yellows, greens. So if you want to go the whole hog, you're going to have to add a few paints to that, because this is obviously just set up for the basic paintings. You also get a paper circa 17th century Union Jack and a St George's cross to put on it. So there we go. I mean, there's quite a lot of flash on this, which is quite disturbing, and a whole load of these things which are looking like a right bloody nightmare, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, so my plan for this is to basically do it at some point on November 21st. Thank God that's already passed, because that means I can put this off till at least next year. I have enough kits to last me sort of 10 to 12 years, I reckon. So at some point over the next 10 years, on November 21st, you will see me having built the Mayflower Revell level 4 1/83rd scale with 369 parts and all of these goddamn pulleys. So thanks very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and please do check out some of our other videos in which we're also looking at some of the other bargains that we picked up from Lidl, including our fallen gnat. And we've had a go at building some of these pretty cool quick builds, which are essentially, it's kind of like Lego, I suppose. We've got them for £8.99, and they seem to be, I don't know, that seems to be really good for £8.99. That does. I'm pretty impressed. They do look good. They are very easy to build. They are, you know, kind of kids things at the end of the day. But hey, I'm just a big kid anyway. So be seeing you.